Hello everyone! Today we are going to be talking about new makeup releases and my thoughts and opinions on them, whether I'll be picking them up, whether I'll be not. We have a lot of things to go through today, so let's get started. Okay, the first release I want to talk about is something that pretty much everybody has been talking about, and I just kind of wanted to give my 2 cents on the situation. And it's the Wet n Wild Pac-Man collection that they're going to be coming out with. As you know, everybody knows Wet n Wild was accused of selling in China secretly, and there's just a whole ordeal on it. I'll leave a video in the description box to explain more of the situation. Everybody's kind of written Wet n Wild off. And you know, it's really unfortunate because I have a lot of their products. I liked most of their products. I do purchase cruelty-free items, but I do use up the items that aren't cruelty-free in my collection, like from when I hadn't switched over yet, just because I think it's important not to contribute waste. I just don't think it's right to, you know, throw out products that are perfectly fine to use just because I have a different view. I think I should still use them up, but I will be using up the rest of my Wet n Wild products, and I've decided I'm not going to purchase from them anymore until they pull and stop selling in China and issue, you know, a company-wide statement that apologizes and stuff like that. I think people are getting a little out of hand with it because people lie in the makeup industry every single day and they're able to come back from it. So I think if Wet n Wild takes the correct steps to correct the problem and fix it, then I would reconsider buying from them. I haven't, you know, written them off completely. I still have like a little bit of faith. So that's my own take on it. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Maybe, you know, maybe you've thought of something that I haven't. The next thing that I won't be picking up is the Morphe 8Z Starblazer palette. They have 8 highlights, and it's very unfortunate because these highlights are very beautiful, but I unfortunately don't support Morphe as a brand, and this is the last time I'll be talking about it on my channel. I wanted to kind of mention it in 2 or 3 videos, that way, you know, most people would know, that way I wouldn't get a bunch of questions. That palette is going to be retailing for $22. Beautiful palette, but I won't be picking it up. Milani just released 8 new eyeliners. The website I found them on has them for $8.99, and I believe that was the Milani website, obviously. But there's 8 new ones. There's like a yellow, a green, a navy blue, a red, black, I think, and then one other color. And they retail, like I said, for $8.99 a piece. These are pretty, but with the amount of eyeliners and eyeliners that I just bought to try out, and liquid lipsticks that will double as eyeliners, I really don't need them, unless it's like some kind of incredible formula. Maybe I would pick up like the black and the brown. it's not that I don't like them, it's not that I don't like the colors, it's just that I don't need them, and I'm really trying to only buy things that will bring value to my collection, and I don't want to have to either try and go through a lot of stuff or throw away a lot of stuff like once it's expired, because that's just wasteful. Okay, and the next thing is the Benefit Party Like a Flockstar palette. Obviously I wouldn't purchase it because Benefit isn't cruelty free, but another thing like that I just wanted to touch on because I hadn't seen anybody else talk about this palette is I feel like Benefit just takes their individual items and then throws them in a palette. And they never come out with anything new, like, and revolutionary. I feel like I never see anybody talking about them unless it's their brow products. One thing I do like that they did in this palette is the plastic protector for their 4 lipsticks. Like, if you're gonna put lipsticks in a palette in a pan, that's the way to do it. It also comes with 4 eyeshadows, 2 blushes, and a split bronzer between the Hoola Light and the original Hoola, I'm pretty sure. And I do like that idea. But I won't be picking that up either. I feel like I'm so critical on these new makeup releases because unless I absolutely love it, I don't buy it. And I've learned my lesson when it comes to buying into the hype of products. So that's why most of these are no's. Tarte came out with a kind of celebration palette. They've been cruelty free for 19 years, which awesome, good for them. Unfortunately, I won't be picking up the palette they released. Just because I've kind of grown out of Tarte shadows, like kind of fell out of love with them, I guess you could say. I just found more that I prefer over their formula, and plus it's kind of like a warm, everyday, neutral palette with pops of blues, which we seen last summer, so I'm not excited about it. This is the last item that I'm not interested in, and then we will talk about what I am interested in picking up. It is the Luminess Cosmetics Lion King collab. Now they came out with a few different things. They came out with a sculpting palette, a eyeshadow palette, 2 matte lipsticks, and then a highlight, and I think something else, but I forgot to write it down. I do like the sculpting palette just because it has cooler tone shades. I don't think I would get my use out of it, especially for $42, so I won't be picking that up. The eyeshadow palette, I just feel like Lion King is such a richly colored movie. I haven't seen the, real life version of it, but the cartoon original Disney one is just so rich in color and beautiful, and just all these like colors to draw inspiration from, and I feel like they really missed the mark on this eyeshadow palette for me. Even without seeing the real life movie, this just doesn't live up to the Lion King that I had in mind. I mean, whenever I think, like, they have a shade called Zazu, and it's a blue, which, yeah, Zazu is blue, but whenever I think of that blue, I think of Rafiki, like the monkey. And it was just a miss because, you know, the blue in it is like this color, blue. And Zazu was like a royal blue. So, yeah, that entire thing was just a miss for me. I don't really... Just disappointing. They definitely didn't do a Disney palette justice like ColourPop would have. But, so I think I'll stick to ColourPop for the Disney themed palettes. Okay, the two matte lips they came out with are pretty, but I feel like I already have a nude and a bright red in my collection. Actually, I have quite a few nudes and quite a few bright reds that I could probably dupe those out for, and it would honestly most likely be for less because these lipsticks are retailing for $24, and I just... The most I can push myself to pay for a lipstick is $18. And that's it. So I just think those two colors were kind of underwhelming. The highlight is beautiful. The packaging is beautiful. I think it would be too dark for my skin tone. But I also wouldn't pay $40 for a highlighter. And honestly, if it wasn't $40, I would probably pick it up. Now moving on to things that I am interested in. There's, you know, one collection and then one item. The first item is the e.l.f. Glow Gleam palette in light and dark. Again, I haven't heard anybody talking about this, probably just because, you know, it's just another highlighter palette. Like, it's not that exciting. But the reason I find this release exciting, and I know they're available now, so I'll go ahead and link them down below. The reason I find this release exciting is because they came out with a light highlighter palette that has 6 shades and a dark highlighter palette that has 6 shades. Like, it's not the entire, you know, oh, we're coming out with a highlighter palette. Light skin gets 4 highlights, and, you know, the darker skin tones get 2. You know, unless I can use those 2 darker shades as a beautiful eyeshadow, I don't pick up highlighter palettes like that. I think it's just a waste of 2 pans, and I don't like the fact that darker skin tones only get 2. Like, only get 2 to pick from. I think that's awesome, and I think brands really need to take note of that. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to talk about here today is the thing that I am most excited for this summer, and bet we are picking some of this stuff up. Like, I just need it. Like, if he says it's okay, like, I'm definitely picking some of it up. Because, if you haven't figured out what I'm talking about, it is the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker collection. It's launching this Friday. I have an alarm set. Like, it is going down whenever he releases stuff, especially palettes, because I collect his palettes, if you can't tell. You know, it gets serious over here in the household. My daughter just ate, and now it's time for her to play, so she thinks she needs to scream and let me know that, you know, Mom, it's time to focus on me. But we'll get this wrapped up. Okay, the Jawbreaker palette itself, I think they're, like, it's evenly balanced with, like, a few shades that I've seen before, like a couple basic shades. The shades that really draw me in are Sour, which is a green, Gumdrop, a light purple, Lemon Drop, which is like this bright yellow, and then Bite Me, which is a really rich purple. And, you know, I'm also interested in like the shade Bubblegum and a couple of shades that can't be mentioned on this channel. Just because I think whenever Jeffree does a palette, he really brings it all in. I'm a big fan of his brand, big supporter. Like, I honestly can't go a day without wearing at least one of his products. So it's no surprise that I need this palette. Mini Breaker palette. I am excited that he did a mini palette, but whenever he said, I'm giving you 2 eyeshadow palettes, I was like, yes, I'm ready to pick both of them up. But the Mini Breaker palette has 2 repeating shades from the bigger palette, and that just isn't worth me paying $28 for the smaller palette. I think if he was going to give us essentially 2 eyeshadow palettes like it was stated, there shouldn't have been repeat shades. That's just my personal opinion. You know, I am happy that he did come out with minis, but I'm just kind of bummed that there's repeat shades in it. Okay, the next thing in this collection is the Brain Freeze Skin Frost Pro palette. You get 6 shades for $40. Realistically, like I said, I could only use 4 of these shades, but looking at these swatches that multiple people from his PR list have done, I would like to have it, and I feel like I would get my use out of the other 2 because I would be using them as shadows. Also, what really interested me about this formula, or this palette, it looked a lot more creamy on camera than I feel like the normal Jeffree Star like Skin Frosts are. Like, yeah, you know, they're creamy, they're nice, but I just feel like it did way better than just, you know, what I just swatched there. Like, because a lot of product, like whenever I swatch it, is left on my finger, and I just feel like whenever I watched him do that, it just looked more wet and buttery and nice. Also, that this is a highlighter from his old collection, so maybe he amped up the formula a little bit. I think this is from one of his summer collections. I can't remember. So yeah, I definitely want to consider picking that up. He's coming out with 6 new velour liquid lipsticks. These, I am interested in them, but since they're full size, realistically, I wouldn't pick all of them up. So I'm gonna start with the ones that I wouldn't pick up first. The first one is Yes Ma'am, which is a neon hot pink. I don't wear hot pink shades ever on my lips. So I just, even though I collect his stuff, like, it wouldn't get used, and I feel wasteful about that. Purple Urkel. I love this lipstick, and I would buy it in a heartbeat if he sold minis individually, but since it's a full-sized, I'll never make it through that using it as a liner, so I won't be picking it up. Bronze Blood is a metallic rose gold. I don't think metallics look good on me, so I'm skipping that one. No Offense is like an acid chartreuse color, he described it as, which looks like a really intense lime green, and it's called No Offense. No offense, I won't be picking it up because I won't get my use out of it. I sound like a broken record, but I really, you know, want to drive home that sometimes just because things are pretty, you don't need them. And the next shade is called Fully Nude. This is nice. This is a nice color. I think if you do wear warmer peachy nudes, definitely pick it up. But I already have a lot of liquid lipsticks that are nude. I have a lot of normal lipsticks that are nude, and I have both of his open here for nudes, like bundles. So I'm okay on nudes, unless it's a cool toned nude. The one liquid lipstick that I do want to pick up is the Strawberry Crush, which is a neon straw. Like, if I pick this up, it might be, you know, a new go-to for summer. Moving right along to the lip ammos, which retail also for $18. He's coming out with, again, 6 new shades, and they're all glitter formula. I haven't tried his lip ammunition in general because I'm not a lipstick bullet person, but I do like the fact that these are kind of like toppers that will transform like a liquid licks. It just transforms them, and I think that is genius. The first shade that I'm not interested in is Brown Sugar. It's pretty much just a deeper brown with glitter in it. It kind of speaks for itself, like it's what you imagine brown sugar would look like, excuse me, as a glittery lip topper. Candy Freeze, which again, it's a pink. Not really excited about pinks. I am excited about Yummy though, which is a purple, and this has like some hint of pink in it, which I feel like is okay because I just feel like this shade is beautiful. Beautiful for a purple and completely wearable. The next one is actually one that I'm not picking up, I just forgot to mention it, is Snow Cone, which is a green, and just green lipstick in general, like I don't have white enough teeth for that. Okay, and then we have Glazed, which is pretty much just a champagne kind of light brown shade. I am really interested in picking this up because I feel like it would look beautiful over any nude lipstick whatsoever, and that is probably the shade that I'm most excited for out of the glitter ones to try. And then the last shade is Jawbreaker, which is a blue. I'm excited about this shade because I feel like it's buildable and I could just kind of wear it as like a lip balm, and it would kind of whiten my teeth a little bit or give the illusion that my teeth is whiter. That's just my thought process to it. I don't really know if that's what it's meant for. The only reason I think like that is because of the blue gloss he came out with. He said that that would give the illusion that your teeth are whiter, and I, like, my mind is just set on this is the same. Like, it's kind of the same concept. He's coming out with 3 new lip scrubs. I have 2 of his lip scrubs, and this is all the dent that I have in one of them. and I use it pretty much every single day. I use at least one of them, if not every other day, and this is all the bigger of the dent that I've made in one. And like the other one looks pretty much brand new. They're delicious, they smell good, but it takes forever for me to go through one, and I'm not ready to pick one up yet. And plus these come with a full ounce. They're huge. Like, let's just compare them in size to a lipstick. They're huge, and it comes with a full ounce of product, and I've had these for a year. $14, I mean, can't beat it. Okay, and the next thing he's coming out with is 3 new Supreme Frost shades. They retail for $32 a piece. The only shade I'm interested in is Diamond Wet, and that's because it's the only color that would go with my skin tone. I am intrigued by Candy Apple Drip, which I know you could use as an eyeshadow, but I don't think I would like it enough to use it as an eyeshadow every single day. So that's the reason I wouldn't pick that up. And then Caramel Kiss, which is just a gorgeous shade, but too dark, and I wouldn't use it as a, sorry, my cats are going crazy, but I wouldn't use it as an eyeshadow. And then the last thing I would be interested in picking up is the new hand mirror in the white Jawbreaker pattern. And I already have a hand mirror from Jeffree. It's black. My boyfriend got it for me for Christmas, but I lose it all the time, so I feel like I need a backup one. And I'm really excited about this Jawbreaker collection. I cannot wait. If I do end up picking some stuff up, I will be sure to do a video on it and, you know, kind of first impressions. So yeah, so excited. I really hope I get to pick some stuff up. I hope you guys like this video. Kind of took into consideration, you know, my thoughts and opinions on new releases, and if you were just, you know, if you happen to just be buying into the hype of something being popular, you know, I hope this video makes you question, like, whether you really need it or if it's just kind of consumerism taking over. That is my purpose with these videos, which I feel like is different from other people, you know, that do them. So yeah, that's all for today. I hope to see you in my next one. If you want, you can like it, you can comment, you can subscribe, whatever you want to do. We're just here hanging out, having a good old time. That is all.